Hey guys, welcome back. We got the Leonorin updated support. I've been really excited. I've been playing this a decent bit with my friends. Um, this is just an insanely fun deck. Obviously, this isn't the next meta deck, but this is insanely it's insanely fun right now. Uh, it's got a lot of good aggression to it. In the grade 3 turn, gosh, I can't find my words. The it's just a good deck. I'll start profiling. I'll stop messing around now. So starter, I still like this starter a lot. I'm using the Leonorn ride line, so the Gracia and the Rectina. Again, from the first one, this basically just lets you get two free boosters, which is really cool. And I'm playing the trial deck Leonorin in the ride line. Now, a lot of people are in favor of just playing uh, the new Leonorin, the Grand March, right? Grand March of Full Bloom. They're like, well, you play that now. This isn't really as good anymore. I like this a lot because the biggest thing about this deck is with the new Grade 3 that we got, um, having the extra 10k for your front two rear guards is very important so that you actually hit more numbers. So I'm maximizing on my chance to hit an extra or to guarantee that I'm hitting a persona ride. So I've stuck with this ride line so far. It's still very good. I like it a lot. The grade 3 section, we have the four copies of the Grand March of Full Blossom Leonorin. Uh, this card's still very good. Uh, we have it's really nice having just the four in deck because now I always see one, so I'm always pretty much persona riding, which is really cool. And four of our new Resonance Dragon. Now, Resonance Dragon, if he's boosted, he gets 5 when he swings, so he's an 18, which is like okay, cool. But at the end of the or at the end of the battle that he swings, if a unit was boosted 5 or more times, I think it is, you can counterblast one, put him into soul, and then restand your front row rear guard. So it's a really cool effect. It lets you have 4 attacks, which means you can play Inlet Pulse if you are playing him. I didn't really have space for him, so I didn't put him in. Uh, but this alone makes this deck a lot better because now it's went from a deck where it's like cool, you perfect guard my Vanguard, and then you just take like a couple like the two rear guard hits, or you block them very easily. Now you can like stack crits on your big beaters and then just be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna swing with this. The beater's gonna restand, hit you for another crit. Very good. Definitely what the deck needed. Just a way to be a little more aggressive. Goodness. Uh, that's it for our grade 3 lineup. It's a very simple lineup. And then we have the grade 2s. We have 4 copies of Creed Assault. Creed Assault is still one of the best cards in this deck. Oh my goodness, it's really good. Just having the extra 10k so that like if you hit like one critical when you swing with this and you have Resonance Dragon on the field, this swings for 30 by itself and it'll swing with the crit, and your opponent's gonna have to either use a lot to block it or they're just gonna take a lot of damage. This card is most likely never coming out of this deck. The only thing that kind of sucks about this card is the fact that you can't early rush with this card because it can't attack unless something has restood this turn. So you gotta take that for what it is. Luckily, we have the grade 1 that can just bring it back from the drop zone. So worst comes to worst, you can just pitch it for riding up and then bring it back later. And then 2 copies of Festus Dragon. Now Festus Dragon is really cool actually. So on place, you counterblast one, look at your top 3, call one. It can boost this turn, and then you mill the other 2, I should say. Uh, so what's cool about this is there isn't very often, but there is a decent amount of times where like I'm just you have to be on a Leonor, and I should have mentioned that. But like there's a decent amount of times where like maybe you're just missing one booster, and it's like, well, cool, I can find one out. And if like let's say I don't know, you hit a Resonance Dragon in your top 3, you can call him as a booster, and then on your next turn, if you can just promote him forward and start going off with him, Creed Assault, all that. Actually, if I remember correctly, he does say he just can't attack. So you could also call him from your top deck, and you can make him a booster. Which, I mean, a 10k booster is whatever, but at least you'll have him on the board for the following turn, which is really nice. Um, of course, you also don't even have to call the thing just to have it as a booster. You can just deck thin to get the card that you want on your board for a counterblast, which is kind of nice. And then the big grade 1 pile that I have, 4 copies of the Performing Petal Diantha. This card is still insanely good. It's one of the better parts of the deck. I have 3 copies of Biara. Realistically, you only need to play like 2, I guess. But I think BR is fine where it is right now. I just don't have more copies of another card that I would probably play more of. So it lets you filter in your hand, and it makes sure that you have soul, because you never want to be without soul. Otherwise, your turns do nothing. 3 copies of Urgula. Urgula is a good way to counter Jeweled, and I think it counters Youthberg too. But it's just a very nice card to have in case you ever, I don't know, you have like a couple back row cards that you're like, dang, I really wish you weren't like in the back row right now because you're not that useful. Like maybe your opponent's at 5, BR isn't hitting anymore. Well, you can move her out and throw her in the front. And then 1 copy of Purity, and then 1 copy of the Saxman himself because I have the FR, and in the front 4 perfect arts. So I would play more Purity if I had it. Uh, at least this one, because I really like the art. You don't have to play the Saxman. Again, I just have the FFR and I think it's funny, so I have it in here. Um, but Purity is really cool because she is just a beater, and obviously beaters are really good. I don't like playing. I think his name's Cozy. I don't like playing Cozy in the Urgula thing because every time I try playing that, uh, my deck just gets very bricked, and then I'm not really doing anything. And it's just not very. It's not very effective. If you have really good luck with it, though, I highly suggest that you should go into that. Uh, and the last bit of the deck is the triggers. Over trigger still in the game. um, 4 crits, go to soul crit is important. 4 of one of the most adorable crits. I love him. 3 draws and 4 heals. So here's the thing about. Oh no, we're not in the frame. Get back in there. So here's the thing about the draws, right? Um, you probably could play fronts, but I think with how Resonance Dragon has let your deck be a little more aggressive, you kind of just want to find him more. So the extra draw is kind of nice. Also, it kind of means you can just kind of plop down cards, start aggressing early, and then, if your opponent like gets rid of some of your cards, it's like, well, that's fine because I'm just going to, draw into more pieces, which is always good. Stokia always has this thing of needing pieces. Otherwise, if you feel like you don't need the draws, you could play fronts, but I think the draws are very important. So that is it for the updated Leonorin. You can play Inlet Pulse in here now, as I mentioned. I'm not doing that though. Um, if you want, you could play more copies of the trial deck one, just so you can guarantee more of a Persona rides. But I have been seeing a Persona ride uh, much more frequently since I did this ratio, so I don't feel the need to add the extra Leonorns, so I think this is fine. But that is going to do it for this one. We have probably a couple more things that I have to cover. Yeah, I got a bit more things that I got to cover, so thank you for checking this out, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye!